Hey everyone, how's it going? Grizzly here with the highly anticipated Q&A video. Maybe you guys haven't been anticipating it, but I have, certainly. And first off, I'd just like to apologize for the lack of gameplay in the background right now. A couple excuses for that. First off, I didn't have any gameplay backed up. And secondly, I didn't want to wait on a render of that gameplay because that would take a lot longer, so sorry you just have a boring static image. But we're just going to hop right into it. So, thank you for all the questions, and the first one comes from someone named China, and they ask, if you were a beverage, what would you be? And let's think about this a little bit. You've got soda, you've got some lemonade, you've got alcoholic beverages, you've got milk, water. That's a tough. I'm gonna go with grape soda, because grape soda is one of those drinks that I don't get to drink it very often. And mainly because I don't drink a lot of soda. But also because, who really buys it? But it's something that really reminds me of my childhood. It's like a good, fun drink that just... It's a fun drink, I guess you could say. I would like to be a fun drink. What an answer. Man, we are setting the tone for this video. Starting off really well. Okay, so second question comes from the Crippled Walrus. What was your best experience from high school? And man, that's a tough one. I had a lot of good experiences from high school. A lot of people don't really like high school. Me, I didn't like it at the time, but looking back on it, I had a really good group of friends, and I'm not sure. I think probably lunch was probably, just in general. I don't know if there's like one memory that I say, that was really great. But at lunchtime, we had a really great group of guys that sat at our lunch table. And I don't know, we just cracked jokes like the entire time, and it was just... I don't know, that was like my favorite part of the day every day. So I'd just say lunch in general was the best experience from high school. So the next question comes from Ludmar. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. When did you start Team Fortress 2? And this goes back a while. So I would say when I first officially began playing Team Fortress 2 was 2009, September of 2009, I believe. So I've been playing it for almost 5 years now. But before that, I was part of a message board with Nintendo fans. I think I've talked about this previously, but that's kind of who got me into the game. And there was a free weekend coming up, and I played that, and eventually I just went out and I bought the game. So 2009 September, that's when I really began to play. Next question comes from Derpy Potato. What is your real name and how old are you? My real name is Dylan, D-Y-L-A-N, and I'm 22 years old. So there you go. That's an easy question. What is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? That comes from Captain Mango. And I skimmed through these questions a little bit so I could kind of organize my thoughts. But some of them I haven't seen, but I did see this one. I kind of thought about it. I was trying to think, what is the most embarrassing thing I've ever done? I don't really feel like I've had a lot of embarrassing moments. I have a lot of moments that I look back on and I go, man, I was such an idiot. Like I kind of have those cringe moments, But there's not a whole lot that I think back and go, man, that was embarrassing. But the one thing that comes to my mind, the one thing I can actually think of, is we had high school dance, and we had this big, I don't know what you call it, but it was like a dance line, like people would line up on the sides and then everybody'd go down. And of course, you have to go down it. And so I did, and it was a Michael Jackson song playing, so I said, I'm gonna moonwalk down this thing. Because let me tell you guys, I've got a pretty solid moonwalk. So I start off at about 2 slides back. I fall. Like my foot sticks on the floor. I wasn't prepared for this. I had too much traction on my shoes. And I slipped on the floor. I didn't slip. I just tripped. And I fell backwards on the ground. And I skidded like all the way to the end of the line. And that was probably like the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. So the next question comes from Turbo Lover. TF2maps.net, shout out to you, Turbo. What inspired you to start making gameplay commentaries? And he goes on to say that he'll listen to anything that I put out there, so thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. But what made me start wanting to make gameplay commentaries is, I I've been watching all sorts of gameplay commentaries for years now. I really used to watch a bunch of CNanners before he started doing, the highlight type stuff that he does now when he did actual commentaries, listen to Star, Germa. And I'd say it was those kinds of things, just watching those and the joy that it brought me. I kind of wanted to do that for other people, I kind of sat there and I said, I could do this. It doesn't seem that tough. And I put it off for a long time. I think I actually joined YouTube with the intention of putting out commentaries back in 2009. And I never really got around to it until now. Last year, that is. And, better late than never. But I do wish I would have started earlier. And another question that he says, perhaps you could shed some light on what makes a Team Fortress 2 commentator do what he does. And the thing about Team Fortress 2 is it's such a unique game. It's completely different than anything else out there that, I don't know, it's silly, yet you can play it very seriously if you want. So I think it attracts all sorts of different people. And I think that's truly what you're in it for when you watch a commentator or when you listen to someone, is their personality. You're not necessarily there for the game, but I feel that a lot of good people, a lot of fun, interesting people do play Team Fortress 2 because it's such, it appeals to such a wide variety of people that you do get all sorts of different people. I think that's really the cool thing about Team Fortress 2 is that, you get people that aren't only interesting, but I feel like they're actually good people. I mean, Tip of the Hats and other charity streams, things like that. All this the money that Team Fortress 2 raised for Japan when they got hit by the tsunami, I think it's that kind of stuff that really sets apart the Team Fortress 2 community from, Call of Duty or Battlefield or those other communities. So hopefully that kind of answers that question. Next question is from Snazzy. Who made your intro? And if you know, with what programs? Yes, I do know who made my intro. That would be me. And I've talked about it a little bit. I have a little bit of background in graphic design, and it's something I've always kind of just fiddled around with. And the program I used to create that would be Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere Pro. Both are pretty expensive, so if you're a student, that'd be a good time to grab them. I guess they have, we won't go into the cost and all that stuff, but Adobe After Effects is really like the main program I use to create that. Next question comes from buying a knife for TF2 Unusual. Sorry, don't know how to say that name. Who made the Strange Shotgun Challenge tune thingy? I don't know what to call it, but it sounds really odd yet funny. Also, have you ever owned a pet? If so, what was the pet? I currently own 2 hamsters. I used to own a hamster. It died. Right now, for the pet thing, I'm not really in the situation to have a pet of any sort because I'm traveling around a lot. I'm not really settled down into a location, and pets are a pretty big commitment. Like a dog, it's not just, hey, that's my dog. It's like, that's my dog for the next 10 years. So at this point in my life, it's not really something that I'm able to commit myself to, and I just can't handle it. Maybe in the future sometime, but right now, no. And the first part of that question was who made the Strange Shotgun Challenge jingle, I guess you could call it, and that would be me as well. I sang a little bit in high school and college in singing groups and things like that, so I have a small background in that sort of thing, and I also created the logo, the whatever you want to call that. Next question comes from Mr. Sir Spee, and he asks, what is your favorite food? What is your favorite game of all time? And do you plan on expanding your channel to content other than TF2? And favorite food would be pizza. I would say pizza with 100% certainty. Pepperoni pizza. Probably pizza, thin and crispy crust. Probably towards the top. I know a lot of people are like, that's Pizza, dude. That's like a national chain. But I really do enjoy Pizza Hut, and it started in Wichita, Kansas, which is pretty close to where I'm from. And I also really enjoy Gambino's. If you guys have ever been to a Gambino's pizza, they have really good pizza. So I don't know how spread out they are, but theirs is A-okay. Second question was your favorite game of all time? That's a tough one. Team Fortress 2 probably is up there. That might be my number one, but I also really enjoy Super Smash Brothers and the Pokemon games. As far as playtime, I probably have the most playtime in Team Fortress 2, so I'm going to go with that. And do you plan on expanding your channel to content other than Team Fortress 2? Well, like I just said there, I don't really play a lot of games. So Team Fortress 2 is always going to be the main focus of this channel, but eventually I may expand a little bit, but Team Fortress 2 isn't really going anywhere, so that answers that. The Shadow Stalker asks, do you have any pets? I answered that. Also, what sports do you do, if any? So, sports, in high school I played a little bit of basketball and some track, and well, track was like middle school, so I don't want to say that. But golf, I mean, I work at a golf course. I'm not very good, but I do play golf a little bit. I really enjoy basketball, frisbee. I run a lot. I don't know. I don't play like American football or soccer or anything like that. I don't really play any contact sports. Basketball is probably my favorite sport. And I'm pretty tall. I'm like 6'2". So growing up, going to high school and stuff, that's always something that you're asked, do you play basketball, or you've got to play basketball. It's just kind of expected of you when you're a certain height, so. But I enjoy it, so basketball is probably my favorite sport. Next question comes from Lord Obsidian Fire McBovery. What was the first gaming experience you remember? And that would be, man, I don't know. That, probably Chips Challenge on PC. I talked a little bit about this. I have a 2-video series over my whole gaming experience, so if you want to check that out, just skim through my videos and you'll find it. But Chips Challenge is probably the first video game I played. The first console game might be Super Mario World for Super Nintendo. And that's that. First first-person shooter would be Call of Duty, the original one, if I feel like that kind of ties in there a little bit. And they also ask, what is your most memorable gaming experience on any game? And, that's a tough question. I don't know if I really have any, like, super memorable moments. I'm just going to say that I don't really have any memorable moments. The whole YouTube thing's been pretty memorable, if that counts. And what is your favorite all-time favorite weapon loadout on Team Fortress 2? And if you guys, have watched many of my videos, you'll know that I mainly play Soldier and Scout. Scout's my favorite class, but my all-time favorite loadout would probably be just the stock rocket launcher with the gunboats and the Market Gardener, just because rocket jumping is probably my favorite thing to do in Team Fortress 2, even though Scout is my favorite class to play. So that's kind of a boring loadout, but that's what it is. Next person here, Celtic Carbon. If you were a grizzly bear, would you eat berries or would you eat meat or both? And they also go on to ask, do you think you can make a living out of gaming? So to answer the first part of that question, would I eat berries or would I eat meat or both? I'd eat some berries. I could get behind some berries. Would I eat meat? Probably. I don't. If I were a bear, I don't think I would go after like deer. I don't know if are those even like in the same habitat? I don't even know. But I know grizzly bears. I know they like their salmon, and I enjoy my salmon, so I'd probably be eating a lot of fish. And second part of the question, do you think you could ever make a living out of gaming? And that depends what you're asking there. Would that be gaming on YouTube? Would that be like professional gaming? Or would that be like something in the gaming industry? To answer that question, I don't know. I think I'm kind of passing that age where professional video gaming, is actually something feasible for me, unless a new game comes out, just because, in the whole gaming world, 22, it's kind of middle of the road, when you start getting late 20s, everything kind of starts, you're not quite on top of your game like you used to be. So professionally, I don't know, I've always wanted to get into competitive gaming, but I'm going to say no, I could not really make a living doing it that way. YouTube, I don't know. That's a tough question. That's not really up to me to decide. So Uh, I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and if that were possible, if something like that were to occur, I don't know what I would think. That would be incredible. But right now that's not really my focus with this channel, but if something along those lines were to occur in the future, I would embrace that. Gaming industry, why not? Yeah, if I wanted to. I think that's probably the most feasible out of those three that I listed. So, next person would be Persimmon? Persimmon? Are you on any team? Do you play competitive? And they go on to assume that I do, and they ask a bunch of questions there. So, no, I'm not. I'm not on a team, and I don't play competitive right now. The only reasons are my computer really isn't too great, and I also don't have a reliable internet connection or a schedule that's very consistent where I can, dedicate certain hours to scrimming and that sort of thing. So right now, no. In the future, that is something that I do plan on doing. I think I'd really enjoy doing that in the future. But as for now, nope. Next question comes from Dupless. Did you ever think you would get 500 subs? Also, one last question. Who did the heavy voice in your outro? So, did I ever think I'd get 500 subs? I don't know. These kind of questions are kind of hard to answer because you don't really know what's possible when you start doing things. When I started uploading this channel, I had confidence. I believed that there would be people out there who would enjoy watching and listening to what I was doing. Did I ever think that I would, get so many subs so quickly? I mean, it's been a year, and maybe some people wouldn't think that that's very rapid progress, but I mean, that's more than one person a day says, what this guy is saying, what this guy is doing is worth my time, and that's a pretty big deal to me. So I don't know if I ever thought I'd get there. I hoped I would, and I'm here, so happy I'm here. And the second question there is, who did the heavy voice in your outros? That would be Gary Schwartz, who is actually the voice of the heavy. He was looking for donations for a project of his. It was for, I can't remember, to be honest. I'm sorry. I'm sure you can look it up. And originally it was on Kickstarter, and he was looking for funds that way, but I emailed him after that and said, hey, if I made a donation, would you be interested in doing some lines for me? And he said, yeah, of course, that'd be great. So, and if you want to get in contact with him, I'm sure you could email him and do the same thing, and he'd be more than happy to do that. Next question comes from FMAB from, I don't know. Do you play any other games? And what games did you play as a kid? So I kind of talked about the other games that I play there. I play Super Smash Bros. I don't play that now, but the new one coming out for the 3DS and Wii U is going to be pretty awesome. I bought my Wii U pretty much just for that, and I bought my 3DS pretty much just for that. So I'm pretty excited for those. I have Mario Kart. I play that a little bit. I've got some other games on my Steam account that I don't really play a whole lot. But as far as games that I play like a lot, Team Fortress 2 is really the only one. I really do enjoy Call of Duty, but it gets pretty old quick. What games did I play as a kid? Super Smash Bros, Pokemon, pretty much the same games I play now except for Team Fortress 2. I really enjoy, like, all of Nintendo's first party games are always really good. And those are really what I played. I had a Nintendo 64 growing up as a kid, and I played a lot of Mario Kart, Mario Party, Super Smash Bros, GoldenEye, Mario Golf, just, all those big Mario games for the N64. That's really what I grew up playing more than anything else. Next question, Moonman, who did the heavy voice in your outro? Answered that. MC Akio asks, what kinds of shows, online or TV, do you like to watch? And my favorite online show, probably the one I watch every single day, is Good Mythical Morning by Rhett and Link. If you guys haven't heard of them, they do a daily talk show every weekday. It's about 10 minutes long, and I don't know, I've been watching that for ever since I started doing it. So I really enjoy that. They're two great personalities, seem like two great guys, and I really do enjoy that. TV, I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. My favorite TV show of all time is probably Seinfeld. And I was kind of late, to the party because the main chunk of Seinfeld, well, all of Seinfeld, was when I was a kid. And I remember my grandparents would always watch it, and I just would not understand it. But a few years ago, probably back in high school, I started watching it, and it was just hilarious. So Seinfeld is probably my favorite TV show of all time. They also ask, besides Team Fortress 2, favorite games. Answered that. And they finally go on to ask the question of all time. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? And, oh man, you know, I don't know. He could chuck a lot of wood if he could chuck wood. You know what I'm saying? A lot. That's my answer. Mr. Minigun asks, man, a lot of questions here from Mr. Minigun. What is your favorite TF2 memory? That would probably be, actually, I think I do have a favorite Team Fortress 2 memory. When Seppi and I did the Uber chaining shenanigans video, that was a really good time. It seemed like we were actually really successful in that video, which I was surprised about. I didn't think we would do that well. So I think that was probably my favorite Team Fortress 2 memory, as well as my favorite like YouTube video memory. Next question they ask, what is your favorite unusual? Disco beat down hot rod for me. I don't know, I don't really care about unusuals. So I don't, like, the only effects I know are like the burning and nuts and bolts, and I had a stormy storm, I don't know, like the cloud one. I had one of those, but I just gave it to some guy because I didn't really want it. Favorite game that isn't Team Fortress 2, already said that. Where you play games, blah, blah. Have you ever tried Fistful of Frags? And no, I haven't. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of time, I guess, working, 40 hours a week or whatever, so I really try to focus on Team Fortress 2. And I haven't tried it, but if you guys are interested in watching some Fistful of Frags videos, I could probably get on that. They also ask, who are your favorite YouTubers? Gaming YouTubers, I really enjoy Star. My favorite TF2 commentator is Jerma, for sure. He's probably like my favorite guy on YouTube to watch. Rhett and Link, like I said before. I watch quite a few things, but those are probably my favorites there. Do you Reddit? Yes, I do. I post some stuff on the TF2 subreddit. Like shamelessly plugging my channel. That's actually how I got a lot of subscribers from my first comment. Man, hang on, let me get a drink here. That's actually how I got a lot of subscribers on my first commentary. So yes, I do Reddit. And what do we have here? Bot Luigi asks, if you could have any job, what would you do? Or what would you have? That's a tough one. This is something that, you think a lot about as a kid, and then you get into high school, and you try and become more realistic, and then your plans kind of fall apart, and then you just kind of get sucked into a 9-to-5, and you don't really think about what you would actually want to do with your life. I would really enjoy... I really enjoy the whole YouTube thing. Maybe not necessarily gaming, though I do enjoy that. But I have some ideas for like a video series that I would really like to start. I think in general, just entertainment would probably be my goal, whether that be on stage, acting or singing or something along those lines. I think that is not just, on stage, but also on television through gameplay commentaries. Anything like that where I'm able to provide entertainment or, just bring happiness and spread joy to people for, any amount of time. I think that's really what I'd want to do more than anything else. Vivify asks, what's your favorite item in your backpack? That's a tough question. Probably, I don't know if I want to say probably, but my first hat is the vintage Tyrant's helm, which I'm never going to trade, so that might be my favorite item. No, I am the law asks, that's their username. If you had a choice, what farm animal would you be? If I had the choice, that's a question that's very hard to answer because most farm animals end up getting slaughtered. So farm animals I consider like cows, chickens, pigs, goats, and maybe horses. And if horses are included in the farm animal group, I would take horses because, they don't, here in America at least, or the United States, I should say, we don't really eat horses. So I think that would be the safest bet if I wanted to live a long life. Seriously Stupid asks, what's your all-time favorite weapon? And that would probably be just the stock scat. God, that's so boring. The stock scatter gun's my favorite all-time weapon. It's just the shotgun reskin. But yeah, I guess so. I guess that's my favorite weapon of all time. Devil Frost 5 asks, if you were to be in a situation where there's no Team Fortress 2 or games, what would you do? Man, that's a tough one too, because I do play a lot of video games in my free time, or a lot of Team Fortress 2, and right now that's kind of my life. But like I mentioned earlier, I really enjoy like videography. I talked about the video series I would like to do, photography, that kind of thing. I really enjoyed that, as well as music. So I'd probably spend my free time still making videos, but they wouldn't be video game videos. So yeah. Gosh, it's that one guy again, the K-Cob knife for TF2 Unusual. If you're reborn a female, what would you name yourself? Jane. Cosmic Fox. Did you ever play Team Fortress Classic? If so, for how long? If not, how long have you been playing Team Fortress 2? Been playing Team Fortress 2 since 2009. Did I ever play Team Fortress Classic? No, I did not. Do I plan to? No, I do not. I've seen videos. It doesn't really look like something I would be interested in. Next page. Last question. Man, I don't know if we flew through those or if it's been like 40 minutes. I can't really tell. But last question comes from Frasia, another Team Fortress 2 Team TF2maps.net user. Shout out to you. What is the place, city, country you would most like to visit? And this is a good question to end on, I think. Thank you for asking this question. I talked about in one of the videos this week how I do enjoy traveling. I enjoy getting out and seeing new things. And the only reason I'm really sticking to the United States is, just for money issues. So I've been to a few places in the United States. In the United States, the place I would like to visit the most would be California. I haven't been out to California yet. It's probably the last place in the United States it's like I really want to go there. So probably LA. I've got some friends down there. So LA would be cool. So in the United States, that would probably be like my most wanted destination. Outside of the US, I'd really like to go to London. I'd really like to go to Paris. I'd really like to go to Tokyo. Man, those are all like, those 3 cities I just named are like the ones that you hear in songs all the time. What's that one song? I'm so fancy. You already know. I'm in the fast lane. From London to Tokyo. Yeah, London. Okay. London would be neat. I've always wanted to go to England, check that out. There's a lot of history there. I don't want to be like the guy from the United States that's like, my family's from England and I really want it. They are, but that's not really why I want to go back. There's just a lot of history. It used to be such a big empire. It's just cool, and I want to see all the things that you see in the movies, I guess. I mean, that's kind of a lame American answer, but that's what it is. Paris, I'd love to go see all the artwork in the museums and the Eiffel Tower, of course, and I don't know, all the stuff in Europe is just like so much older than anything we have in America that I'd really like to go to Europe, probably more than any other place. No urge really to go to South America. South America could be cool. But I was gonna say Africa. Africa, no urge. I mean the pyramids, but I mean I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on in Africa that I don't really want to deal with. Australia. That's where this person's from. So I don't know. I don't really know much about Australia, to be honest. So I mean I'd enjoy going, but it would be after my European excursion. So yeah, I think that's all the questions. That's everything. So awesome. I think this went well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I didn't ramble on and on and on and on and on a lot for you guys. The giveaway winners, I have sent you all friend requests, or if I'm already friends with you on Steam, I have sent you a trade offer. So be sure to go check those on Steam. I'll leave them up for like a week or two, who knows. And if you don't claim it, it's gone. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Maybe we can do this when we hit 1,000 subs, if we get there, if we go more than that, who knows. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. I've really wanted to do something like this for a while, so it's been fun for me. Hopefully it was fun for you, and hopefully it wasn't completely boring. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers. That's crazy. And I will talk to you all later. Have a good one, guys.